Hey there, I'm Michael Hayes, and this is my introductory video for the WaterBear Masters course. I'm a guitarist, session musician, product demonstrator, I do my own instrumental artist kind of thing, but the main focus for this course is going to be myself as an artist playing 8-string prog goodness. Okay, so to start off with, young baby Michael. I'm in a family full of musicians, so my granddad's always been in rock bands throughout the years. He was in an awesome 80s rock band called Raider that was kind of like Bon Jovi-esque. Anyway, pretty much, my granddad's always been in bands, and I've grown up with him always being in bands, and my uncle played bass for the band that he's currently in now. But my uncle's also been in loads of his own projects, along with my grandma, managing those bands and managing other bands throughout the years. So there's always been this big influence of music in my life. So as you can see here, I think it'll be over here, there's a video of me at a family barbecue. I believe this is in 2002. They did an 80s themed barbecue where they had bands playing, hence all the hair and everything. And it's me in a Spider-Man onesie, which I wish I still had because that's kind of a cool onesie, playing an inflatable blow-up guitar. A lot of people say, oh, why don't you learn right-handed? Well, I play left-handed because of that video, because it just seems to be natural for me, and that's how I hold the guitar. I first picked up a proper guitar, not one of those inflatable things, at the age of 8. I had about 3 lessons with this awesome guitar tutor called Barry. Barry was really cool because he used to call me dude, and when I was 8, that being called dude was like one of the biggest things, like, oh my god. I had to stop having guitar lessons because I got really stressed about it. 8-year-old me started going, I need to practice, I need to do well. Anyway, a bit further on, 12-year-old me, in secondary school at this point, my uncle has just started up a music school, okay? So he offered to give me free guitar lessons. I had them once a week, and I think my grandma sorted it out just to get me out of the house more. I had those for 2 years where I just kind of went along, played really passively, didn't practice or anything. So I don't really count those 2 years because I just didn't do anything. After then, 14-year-old me came across a guitar player called Steve Vai. Now, I saw that Steve Vai did a 10-hour practice regime. At the age of 14, a summer holiday away from school, decided to actually do this 10-hour regime. And I remember sitting down with an actual stopwatch. Well, it was my phone at the time, my iPhone, just timing each one, going, right, okay, there's an hour of doing like simple exercise. Other stuff that I used to do, which I'll put up photos all around. I used to do musicals quite a lot, so I used to do sort of the singing, dancing and acting. Been the lead role in a few pantos. That was kind of cool. It really got me the sort of taste for performance, if you like. So about the age of 15, I started having guitar lessons with this really cool guitarist called Martin Nichols, who happens to be my uncle's best friend. Now, he'd been in bands like The Sweet, he played for another band called Violent Storm, and he'd also been on Guitar Star, and he does loads of other cool shred stuff. Anyway, I had lessons with Martin for a year, and my playing started to really advance. And then I decided to start teaching school friends. It was just kind of a way to make sort of extra pocket money. I think I wanted to buy a new guitar. I remember seeing like a Lemon Drop Les Paul that I really wanted. Now, it started off with just one student, and then I started advertising, and I ended up having, I seem to remember, about 7 students a week, which was really kind of crazy for a 15-year-old, but they really enjoyed it. So that was going really well, which that then built up over time to me actually teaching at a school when I hit my sort of 18, 19 years of age, along with then teaching at Idle Hands as well, where I had my initial lessons. This then led to me last year teaching at 2 other schools, including the primary school that I originally went to, which was kind of cool. So I was teaching at 4 different schools. I had about 50 students. It was going absolutely crazy. And I realized I'd been doing it for about 7 years. So I decided I kind of needed to take a break because a lot of it was kind of the beginner stuff in teaching. And it's all great and it's really good fun. And I really enjoyed it, but I had to kind of stop because I ended up putting too much of my time and energy on that when I realised that I actually want to progress myself as an artist. Okay, so 16-year-old me, I kind of had a sort of a fork in the road, either to go into dancing and singing and acting, so go to, I think, Guildford Academy, I think it's called, go to BIM in Brighton, go and do guitar, or go BIM in Brighton to do vocals, because I do a lot of singing. I'll maybe include some singing or not, I don't know, we'll try.
That was God in the middle of a railroad track.
So I had these sort of 3 choices. The thing was, I always really excelled at guitar. Vocals were kind of coming along, but the guitar thing was the main thing. So I went off and did an audition at BIM in Brighton. I got the audition, woohoo! I was Pat Heath at the time, and he actually thought I was auditioning for the degree, but I was actually too young. So he put me on the diploma. Diploma went great, I had a great time. So I carried on at BIM and I did a degree, which went really well, and that was good fun. Whilst I was doing that though, I was also doing a lot of work around it. That included session work. I was in the house band, went out and did a lot of their school tours that they did, along with also going over to do Jersey to play a festival, and I also got to play Pride, which was really cool. Whilst that was going on, I was playing in a band called Elemental on the Waves. We used to go around playing acoustic versions of like metal songs or hip hop and rap songs at bars in Brighton. It wasn't any big gigs, but that was the point when I did a pen party, which is where a lot of people got naked and drew on each other with sharp. We also played a tiki bar and we did some other crazy things, but it was just more just some friends having a laugh. Whilst that was also going on, I got the chance to do a lot of depth work. I got the chance to depth for my grandfather's band. I also depped for another band called Reckless Intentions. That was kind of strange because their guitarist had to go into hospital festival the day of the gig. So I had about an hour or two to learn their songs, which I was like, right, okay, this is going to be fine. I'll do it. I'll just smash it. It'll be good fun. Not to realise that they're all in drop C sharp. I kind of had to down tune my Les Paul, which it hated every second of it, and learn the songs in the pub about 10 minutes before the gig. Gladly, it went all right. Another thing that happened during university was that I decided to get into musicals, and not into the acting sense, which is what I used to do in my teens. I decided to get into playing in bands. So I got offered to do the musical Rent at the local theatre that I used to perform at. And then following that, it turns out they were doing the professional production in Brighton. So I got to do that, and that was really good fun. I must have done about another 10 to 12 musicals in about a space of a year and a half. It was crazy. I didn't realise how much fun I was having during that time. Okay, so then finishing my degree, moving onwards, I joined a function band with my grandfather. So he's still doing his one, which is called Rounding the Rockets, but we just set up another one called The Form. Now with The Form, what we do is we just play sort of pubs and clubs, and we play a set of an artist. So we started off with Bon Jovi and Bryan Adams. We've now added The Who and the Rolling Stones. It's really just a bit of a laugh with some friends. I get to play some shred solos, so good fun. Okay, so the next thing that sort of came along in my life was the want to do conventions. I really liked the NAMM show and the Music Mess and all that sort of stuff, and it just seemed like a massive hangout for musicians. So I really wanted to get involved in that. What I did was I booked tickets to go to Music Mess. And I went over to Music Mess and I went and just sort of hung out, chat with a few people and play on a few stands, which I then found this company called Cuvave. Now, Cuvave are a Chinese pedal company that make very affordable pedals that are kind of modifications of things you already know. And oh, hello, this is my cat, Calcifer. Calcifer, do you want to say hi, buddy? Can you say hi? Here's Calcifer. This is my cat, Calcifer. I also love cats. He's like hella adorable. He's Calcifer from the Howl's Moving Castle, if you know Howl's Moving Castle. I went to Music Mess and I played on the Cuvave stand, and I just kind of went along, just tried out a few of their products, but they started whispering in my ear saying, could you play some Jimi Hendrix stuff? Could you play some Eric Clapton stuff? And people started gathering around, and I really enjoyed the sort of connection of it and playing around with the products and helping out a company. So after that, they contacted me and asked me to do some product videos for them, which I'll try and sort of include around me. I did the product videos for them, and they were really happy. So then they invited me for the following year to play Music Mess again. But this time they were sort of wanting me to go with them, which was really good fun. I went out and I played it. I met loads of great people, had a really good time. So I was kind of bitten by the bug of it. So that led up to this year, me getting invited to the NAMM show and playing for them, which was an absolutely incredible experience. It was my dream since I sort of about 15-year-old me. I've always wanted to go there. I'd always seen the videos on YouTube. I got to hang out with some awesome guitar players, some players that I absolutely love. So that was a really surreal experience. That was going to lead to me then going to Music Mess this year in Germany and then China Music. And I think they were talking about me playing some gigs out in China. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19 hitting, none of that happened. The other thing that I want to add in, that I'm also recording an EP for Katia Macabre at the moment. She is an awesome female metal singer, and she does opera, and she does loads of other incredible stuff. I'm recording all the guitar stuff for that, writing loads of cool solos and things. Okay, so the other thing that I just want to add in quickly at the end, just like sort of other extra hobbies. I'm also a massive gamer. I love gaming. So this year I decided to set up a Twitch account and a load of other things under the name Mikeyarto, which is my gaming name. So that's the other hobby. That's my kind of like other love, except for music and guitar. Alongside that, I also do art. Okay, so me now, I'm really wanting to push myself forward as a artist and a guitarist, and doing a lot more of the product demonstrating and kind of having that backstory for the NAMM show, so I have the connections. I do also do a lot of stuff on social media, so I've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, which I've been trying to build up for the past sort of few years, but never really kind of just stuck with it. So now I'm really trying to sort of stick at it and post lots and engage with a lot of people. This is my introductory video for the Water Bear Masters course. Feel free to drop me a message, or if you see me around whilst I'm studying my course, then feel free to come up and say hi.